Hi, it's Michael. My Cody. Hope I'm having a great day. I left my Sonic rider on this thing, so I may have to speak into this. So, what is one of the big secrets that I've learned for filming? For trying my best to film anomalies for the last probably 3.5, 4 years of my life. The biggest thing that I could tell you that I learned is when you see a star flying by or a UFO, a big ball of light, a sphere-shaped light. I did film one that transited the moon, which was a miracle, just a miracle. And that video was showed on YouTube, and I'm glad because when it transited the moon and went past it, you could tell it was way, way up there, and it was very big. But it also divulged, based on the lighting of the moon and how it kind of disappeared while it was flying through it, and then coming right out, you could see it perfectly. It really divulged the honesty of what I was saying all along. These are giant spheres. They're not anything man-made. Those have been around me for years now. But there's something more powerful. In that video, as that sphere transits the moon, you're going to see an explosion come out of the moon. For those that haven't noticed it, an explosion where something becomes ejected from the moon. What that is, I don't really know. But the biggest lesson that I learned is this. And don't take my word for it. Do your own homework. 4 videos ago, I think I have 2 copies of the videos on YouTube. I uploaded it. I showed myself filming a moving star, or just call it a UFO, right? So the UFO starts to move right past me. It's way up there. It's large. Nothing I haven't filmed before. Only this time there was a lot of static energy. There was a lot of background noise in the blackness of space through my camera, and I started seeing these fuzzy type of little white spots of light. Now, I'm trying to use metaphors to describe what I saw because there is no description, really, in this three-dimensional world of what I saw. Whatever words I use don't justify what I saw with my own eyes. So I do the best I can to describe it. You can see it in the video. As that star, it was a star that flew past me, they're mostly all stars. There was another one that appeared magically right next to it, and it was entangled. It was electromagnetically entangled, meaning that wherever that star went, the other one followed it. And what that was really is you were seeing the transition of a constellation moving. Stars move. They can be moved in the tip of a hat because you live in a simulated reality. You live in a virtual reality. Consciousness is fundamental. Space-time is connected because really, in essence, there is no space-time. Space-time is nothing more than a mathematical determination. So you want to create space in a simulated virtual reality. You take one line, make a y-axis, an x-axis, then go down across, and all of a sudden you've got an orthological line going this way, an orthological line going that way, and if you have 3 axes, now you've got your 3 dimensions. That's nothing more than a number. That's all it is. That's why everything in this world that you see is mathematical. Everything is mathematical. Okay. Surface area is really what determines the amount of mass in areas, and particles are just probability distributions. They're not really creating anything. So you live in this illusionary world. And watching this star fly by and then all of a sudden seeing another one pop up, I've never seen that before. After 4 years of filming, I've never had that experience. Seeing the second star, and in the video, there's actually a third star that's trying to come out too. But what happened is the creator, the larger consciousness system, this is a field. The creator, the paintbrush, you could say, of God, that's most likely an AI that's in this simulation, I don't want to say it didn't know what I was doing. It did, but it may not have at the same time. I don't know. Either way, I was seeing something that I wasn't really probably supposed to see. Um, so another star shows up. Now there's two of them, and then the second it shows up, remember these objects are getting further away from me. So many times when I film these moving stars, these UFOs, I always would say, gee, I'm losing the image in my camera because they're too far away. That's space and time. Not necessarily. When those objects came and I filmed it, my camera was on it and I was trying the best I could to stay with it because it was getting further away. It's only so much space my camera can handle. Eventually, the two stars faded away. And I was so thrilled that, wow, I got one star and then another one was appeared right next to it. And it was just magical. I've never seen anything like that. And when that happened, my camera was still focused on the two stars and they had just disappeared. But I was so excited. I kept my camera on that exact location where they were. And I just kept filming. And as I'm filming, I'm looking through my viewfinder and I still see some commotion. I see some activity. I couldn't see it really directly, but I could see something else is still going on. And I just thought that was weird. I said, I wonder if another star must have flew by or another UFO, but it wasn't. What it was, when I went back and reviewed it inside my home, is that those two stars turned their lights out. They weren't as far as I thought they were. They just dimmed their light, turned it out, and then all of a sudden they became larger and they were darker and blacker than the nighttime sky itself. Amazing. And I could see them crystal clear, moving around and flying in the blackness of space. Maybe that would be the ocean of dark matter and dark energy. That's what they were in. The noise. And you could see them floating around in this noise that you would normally not think nothing's there, nothing's there. No, they're there. And they were darker than the blackest sky. My camera caught it. I don't know how it did, but it caught it. It was a miracle. And one of them went this way, one of them that way. You could easily see them. One of them slowed down, and my camera got it. They both went right through each other, and they separated like it was a silly putty, like a metallic metal physical UFO, but black. They went through each other and you could see the slime, metal like black slime, drip off. Okay, the only analogy I can think of it is like the liquid metal in the Terminator. Remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger fought against that guy that had this liquid metal? And it was years ago in the 90s, and he would point his finger and a spear would go right through somebody's head. It was like that, but black. And when it separated, I guess they exchanged information. I don't know. One of the stars went like this, stopped, and went straight down. The other one went this way, that way, and then boom, gone. And that was just like, that was the climax of all the research I've ever done in my life. That was the most incredible. I can't say it. When I first saw my first moving star on April 10, 2015 in South Florida, that was really the best, but because I was watching that star for an hour and 10 or 15 minutes, but this was right up there with it. I can't even tell you which one was better, but I didn't realize how great it was until I saw it after. So not only did I film a moving star, I filmed another star entangled with it that was part of a constellation. There's a third star that was trying to appear too, but it shut itself down before the third star was coming, but I could see it resonating. And then they disappear, and then these stars that were lit up were right there in the blackness of space. They just turned their light off. And they were moving in the fabric of space-time, of dark energy and dark matter. And they went through each other and separated, and I could see them crystal clear on the camera. And then they went zigzag, and they got out of here light speed, right? I learned that how could my camera not see them because they were getting too far away? My camera says, hey, these lights are too far away and we can't see them anymore. That's only because of a mathematical equation of what I think the distance is, and my camera thinks the distance is based on my measurement of filming them at that time. The reality, there is no space-time. There is no space-time. It's just a mathematical number. So the system assumed I wouldn't be able to film that or see that, but by some miracle I was. And when those lights dimmed out, there shouldn't have been nothing there. It should have been empty space, but it wasn't. It was a controlled mechanism. It was a controlled dark UFO that appeared there as those two starlights left. And it was bigger and larger than the actual light itself. And there were other ones that flew by too, that were just around it looking at these other two dark objects. The UFOs are there. They're everywhere. But they're controlled by a larger source called the larger consciousness system. That system is what we're a part of. That's what our consciousness is a part of. They're always there. They're in the noise and the blackness of space. So when you see a big, bright, shiny, glowing object, a lot of times that's not even really the source. It's just a calling card. It's a beacon. It's just the picture of what they want you to see, a glowing ball of light. But the source of who's controlling it and moving it is the blackness of the noise around it in space that you don't see. There's something there that's actually creating it, giving it information, telling it what to do. So it's not the light. The light is just the finished product. But if you want to see who created the light or created the product, right, the UFO, look around in the blackness of space where all the fuzzy noise is. Look through it. Look past it. And it took me a long time to figure that out. You can see the entities there. Not easy to do, but you can see them there. They've always been there. I went back to my old footage and I'm like, oh my God, they're everywhere. Amazing. Classified information I'm giving you. They're there. They always have been. So the light is nothing more than a source. And once I figured that out, I don't see the spheres that much anymore. The reason why is because you can actually create balls of light through your consciousness. Here's the biggest secret. If I were to film a star, let's say just a month ago, I filmed a star. I was filming it at night. My consciousness and my intention can create other white objects that show up now in the background of the blackness of space. Yes, I can prove this. If I move my camera to another position, what happens? Well, the star that I was filming obviously is gone. Now a new star will come up and I'll film a new star. But I can't have that star in there because I've moved, right? Well, what happens with those other white objects that flew in the background of the space? The noise of the space, the blackness of space, where those two stars that fainted and all of a sudden the black object are moving around in what we think was complete darkness, but my camera proved that it wasn't. What happens in that noise? Do those objects that I see there while I was filming that first star, are they still there with me if I move my camera and film another star? Of course not, right? They would be around that star I was filming it. So here's the star, and all of a sudden I can see through the noise of space. I taught myself how to do that, and I see the objects coming around it. It's pretty amazing. If I move to another location, I would be leaving them, right? Wrong. They follow you wherever you go. The only time they leave is when you point the camera to the ground. Okay? Thanks for listening. Bye.